Well, it's business time of the transfer window for Hull City, as we have another signing come in and plenty more to happen, as also some players will depart. Hello there and welcome back to the HullCityFanCentral YouTube channel, where today I'll be going through all of the transfer news surrounding Hull City, as there's a lot to get through, as it seems to be a busy time for Hull City. Now that Adjan has broken away from Fenerbahce and their management side, well, he's now focusing fully on Hull City and fully on preparing for the new season, which is nice, I guess. So first of all, we'll go through the brand new signing, which I didn't do a distinct video for this when it happened, as I was a little bit busy and I thought, well, it doesn't fully need a full video to go in for, considering it's probably going to be a backup situation for the new goalkeeper, Dylan Phillips. But we'll still cover it here because, of course, it's Hull City FanCentral YouTube channel where we cover every little bit of Hull City news surrounding the club. So, Hull City are delighted to announce the signing of experienced goalkeeper Dylan Phillips on a 2-year contract with a club option of an additional year. The 30-year-old will officially join the Tigers on the 1st of July following his departure from Rotherham United, where he featured 39 times across 2 seasons. Making more than 200 appearances for 7 different clubs, including 81 in the Championship, Phillips played over a century of matches for Charlton Athletic after progressing through their youth system. The 6'2" shot stopper helped the Addicts secure promotion from League One via the playoffs in 2018-2019 and received their Player of the Year award the following campaign and his last at the Valley. He made 36 appearances during his 3 years with Cardiff City from 2020 to 2023, spending the final season on loan in Belgium with KV Oostende. The Hornchurch-born custodian spent his early career in non-league playing loan spells with Whitehawk, Bishop's Stotford, Cheltenham Town, where he lifted the 2015-2016 National League title. Welcome to Hull City, Dylan Phillips. That's what Hull City have to say on the matter. What do I have to say on a brand new goalkeeper coming in? Well, the subsequent move that came just after this, or just before this, really laid the land for this one, and that being Timothy Lotitala going back to Doncaster Rovers on a season-long loan straight from the start. His playing time last season was disrupted a little bit, especially in the early portions of the season due to the injury that he had. But this season, going straight out on loan from minute 1. And with the signing of Dylan Phillips, well, it pretty much lays the land. We've still got Ivor Panda, and Panda doesn't seem to be going absolutely anywhere. Well, Dylan Phillips is going to be that backup keeper, isn't he? Really need an experienced keeper to provide not only the competition for Ivor Panda, but also to have as a backup keeper that you wouldn't mind going to if, God forbid, touch wood, nothing would happen. But if something did happen to Ivor Panda where he had to miss a game or a few, or certainly in cup competitions, Dylan Phillips will be the go-to man for the FA Cup and Carabao Cup at the moment. Of course, things can obviously change. The transfer window is still long and a tedious time. But Dylan Phillips coming in as that backup to Ivor Panda, providing competition for a player who has done relatively well in the Championship for his calibre. Got promotion from League One, has played 81 games in the Championship, and made more than 200 appearances. Well, that's kind of what you want from an experienced goalkeeper that still has a chunk of time in him. He's still 30 years old. For a goalkeeper, that's relatively young. So, welcome in Dylan Phillips, and hopefully that whenever you're called upon and behind the scenes you do well and provide the competition for Ivor Panda to help progressing him as Hull City's number 1, and then you provide a very, very good number 2 option for the Tigers moving into this brand new season. So welcome in Dylan Phillips. As I talked about, one departure in Timothy Lotitala, of course, not a permanent one, as he's just going to Doncaster Rovers on a loan deal for the rest of the season. Well, this is a permanent one that is pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered, as João Pedro has arrived in Mexico ahead of his move to Atletico de San Luis. He will be going there on a permanent deal. There's been rumoured for the past couple of days now, and he has touched down as of yesterday in Mexico ahead of the move. I mean, what is it with Hull City's strikers making switches to Mexico? Of course, we had Oscar Estupiñán and now João Pedro, but Pedro is seeming to move. Interesting one, considering that Hull City, I believe, activated the club option of the extra year in the retained list. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm just racking my brain through that one, but I believe they did. So it's an interesting one to see that João Pedro is going, whether that is a request from Pedro himself to go to Mexico, play over there, or whether it's something internally, externally, who knows at this point, but within the next day or two, it probably will be officially announced that João Pedro has moved to Atlético de San Luis. Bit of interesting news on someone that's no longer a Hull City manager, but is moving over to Sheffield United, as it seems. Ruben Selles is in apparently advanced talks to replace Chris Wilder at Sheffield United. I did a little video for our friends over at Blades Ramble about this, so it seems that there's a certain amount of substance in it, and wish him all the best over at Sheffield United. Of course, don't wish him the best whenever he plays against us, but I think they can do well over there. So best of luck, Ruben Selles, in your new position. Of course, if you do get it, it's just rumoured at this point, but it seems that the advanced talks are progressing. So we've had a bit of a negative downer on a few departures. Well, should we talk about some possible incoming players? Now, these are all rumoured, so take them with a grain of salt. Some have got a bit more substance than others. So, Hull City are reportedly interested in German left-back Louis Opie, the German left-back coming into the club. And you may be thinking, okay, left back, got a few left backs, of course, nobody really taking down the position. Well, Matty Jacob is sounding like he's probably going to be going this transfer window, as well as a number of clubs have expressed interest in signing him on a permanent deal. A lot of League One outfits have expressed their interest in Matty Jacob, and don't hinder it happening, because if we are interested in signing Louis Opie or another left back or something like that, we've been linked with a few now across the past few days and weeks. Well, don't limit him, because young player, still got a relatively young player in there, and needs the game time, needs to prove himself. Why not go to a League One club where he probably will be given to the keys to the left back position, and that he can play the full season at left back. And Hull City signing Louis Opie, if it does come through, would be a good upgrade, we'll say, as Louis Opie has a little bit more experience, a little bit more provivity, if that's a word. He's a bit more proven than some of the other options that Hull City have internally. Of course, we will have to battle some other Championship clubs, and we never get a player without a battle. And if you don't, well, then that usually means something. But Birmingham City and also Norwich City are also in the transfer race for Louis Opie. This video, I'm just going to go a quick glaze over some of the transfer news, and we can go into a bit more depth once we have a bit more of an understanding on where Hull City lie, as obviously a lot of news to cover. So, moving on to another left-back stroke midfielder that Hull City are looking to sign, and that is Callum O'Dowda. He's at Cardiff at the moment. Left-back, can play in the midfield. Very interesting situation there, in that relatively young, has still not proven himself to a full extent, but of course, if you're looking to bring in options of a player that can do the left back position, do it well for majority of the season, maybe not every game, but certainly a good 3/4 of the season, well, Callum O'Dowda is probably your man to fill in that position for relatively a low risk taking on this one, as worst thing that can happen is he's your backup left back midfielder. He's got a bit of versatility in him. Best thing that can happen, he has an absolutely outstanding season. A, we sell him on, or B, he helps us get to the Premier League. I mean, there's nothing too bad you can do with this Callum O'Dowda transfer into Hull City, but we'll keep you up to date on that one. Another player looking to come in, it was another young one, and it's 19-year-old forward Uchenna Ogundu. I might have butchered that one, but Hull City are looking to sign him. He's a 19-year-old Nigerian striker, and he was, of course, in the Turkish Super League last season, so that's probably how he's come on Hull City's radar. Scoring 6 goals in 16 starts, so it's not too bad. He's currently under contract with San Luifspor, probably butchered that one, until 2027. So 2 years left on his deal there. Could come with a bit of a fee, but it shouldn't be too high. Of course, younger players always do come with a bit more of a fee, because you really don't want to give away your young talent for pennies, do you? But his performances in the Turkish Super League, well, they've attracted interest of various different championship sides. Not only Hull City, but Hull City are one of the key teams named in the search for Uchenna Ogundu. I might have butchered that one again. Very, very sorry. But one to keep an eye on. Let's move on to a little bit about news about Abdush Ömer. Of course, Ömer still under contract at Hull City after going out on loan for the remainder of the last half of the season. Well, it seems like he probably won't be a Hull City player for too much longer. A lot of interest surrounding Abdush Ömer and the various different Turkish teams want to pick him up. One is Samsunspor. Various other teams are interested in the Turkish midfielder. But we'll keep you up to date on how that progresses throughout the transfer window. Another defender Hull City are looking to bring in, and that is a former West Brom centre-back in Sami Aji on a free transfer this would be. So it's a good deal whenever you can get a free transfer for someone that is championship experience, championship proven, and certainly a defensive player. I mean, we've seen it in the past couple of seasons. Sometimes the free transfers, well, they hit and they do quite nicely for Hull City. Sometimes, of course, they don't. And that's the tale of the free transfer market. But to bring in someone to bolster the defensive line, to maybe provide a bit of competition to the players that are already there, somebody that's played in the Premier League, Championship, of course played with West Brom, as I've said. Well, it's not a bad dealing, is it, at all? But certainly one to keep an eye on. Free transfer, not too bad, I would say, but certainly someone that could be swept up before too long. So talk about someone that's a former Hull City player, only as of very recently, and that Joe Gelhardt. Of course, he was on loan at the Tigers for the second half of the season. Played all right for Hull City. Certainly seemed to be his best outing at a club to date. Of course, currently at Leeds United and has been out on loan at various different clubs. Well, it's sounding like he might not be coming back to Hull City, as Birmingham City and Wrexham are both targeting moves for Joe Gelhardt. Sounding like it might be a permanent switch for Gelhardt, as of course Leeds United now in the Premier League, probably not wanting to keep on to Joe Gelhardt, who's probably not going to play into any capacity for Leeds United this season, and maybe not moving forwards. So Birmingham City and Wrexham are both the front runners in that one. No word as of yet whether Hull City are interested in it, but no word probably means that they are not, until we do get anything saying that he probably is going to be signing with Hull City. So another one, departure, I mean this will probably be one of the last few of the video, but Xavier Simons has left Hull City permanently to join League One side Bolton Wanderers for about £500,000. Not too bad. It's someone that I quite liked how he played under Tim Walter. He was one of the only really nice players to watch under Tim Walter, the way that he played in that midfield to really solidify a job at the start of this past season, but really slipped off towards the end of Tim Walter's reign, and of course into Ruben Selles, where he may have even got one game or that being it. But he's moving over to League One to Bolton Wanderers to get a bit of a fresh start. This is what he had to say on Instagram about his departure. To everyone connected with Hull City, thank you. It's time to move on to a new chapter, but I wanted to show my appreciation for everything. And to the fans, your huge support through both the good times and the tough ones has meant so much. Wishing you nothing but the best for the future, Tigers. And a few of the Hull City players, like Ryan Giles, Charlie Hughes, wishing him all the best in his future. So, final one to report on, and that being Hull City have made a new offer to Paradu for Baulubina. I've definitely butchered that one. I'm very, very sorry. Valued at about 1.8 million euros. Of course, this is a deal that's maybe going to take a bit of time. There's always one in the transfer window that takes a little bit of time for Hull City, and this being one. It's been reported behind the scenes that Mohamed Baloumi is apparently trying to help bring this deal into fruition. So it's quite nice when you have a player of your own trying to help bring a fellow player on board to the project that you've got going on here. Seems like a very, very good deal. If it can happen, a very good player in there. So we'll be interested to see if that does happen. Of course, this seems, as I say, one that might be building suspense throughout the entire transfer window, as there always is one. You think back to Adama Traore and various other players like that, where there's rumours just continually flying, but they don't sign until later. And then Hull City always put out, finally they've arrived, and we all go, oh, thank you for announcing something we've had pretty much on the cards for the past 2 months. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that you over the past couple of days from Hull City. As I say, it's a busy time for the club. New manager in, 2 new players in, and 2 players out already. 1 loan, 1 permanent, but a few more to happen, both in and out for the club. So make sure you stay tuned on the channel by liking and subscribing. As I say, I'll keep telling everything Hull City, as it's going to be an interesting transfer window, to say the least, in what many are saying is do or die time for Adjan Ilajali. Well, we will say as the transfer window breaks on and as the new season breaks in. So I'll see you in the next video. Up the Tigers!